400-meter dash is interesting because, unlike other races, you go all the way around the track once. So it's difficult to maintain a sprint-like speed while going all the way around the track. Have these Olympians traveled 400 meters? Have they traveled 0 meters? What is speed anyways? How is speed different than velocity? To understand this, we're going to have to understand a few key vocabulary words first. Distance is the total length traveled, or in this diagram, the path taken. Displacement is the length from point A to point B, regardless of the path you take to get there. You can see in this diagram that the distance is shown in the purple and the displacement in the green. Back to our 400-meter dash. If this dash is one complete circuit around the track, what is the total distance these runners traveled? Since distance has nothing to do with the path you take, their total distance is 400 meters. But what about their displacement? Displacement is the difference between the start line and the finish line. But in this case, the start line is the finish line, so the total displacement is 0 meters. But what if our race was the 100-meter dash like we see here? What is the distance or the path traveled? Well, it's 100 meters. And the displacement, the length from the start line to the finish line, it's also 100 meters. So what does all this have to do with speed? Well, just like distance and displacement have to do with how you get from point A to point B, speed and velocity have to do with how fast you get from point A to point B. So back again to our 400-meter dash. It took the gold medalist 44.2 seconds to run this race. We already know his total distance is 400 meters and his total displacement is 0 meters. Any measurement of how fast we're going, we calculate by doing length over time. So let's do these calculations for both distance as our length and displacement as our length. So let's do this calculation. The distance traveled over time is the average speed. So for this runner, 400 meters over 44.2 seconds has an average speed of 9 meters per second. Now the displacement over time is the average velocity. So for this runner, his displacement was 0 meters over the 44.2 seconds. So he had an average velocity of 0 meters per second. Now what about in our 100-meter dash again? So let's calculate first the average speed. We know that the total distance traveled is 100 meters, and they traveled it in a little over 10 seconds. So their average speed is about 10 meters per second. Now for the average velocity. The displacement is the exact same as the distance in the 100-meter dash, so it's also 100 over 10.7. So our average velocity is also about 10 meters per second.